Welcome to Kiran Classroom. Dear students, today we talk about pathway of air. In the pathway of air, we see 9 steps and 9 parts we discuss in the pathway of air. One is nostrils, second one is nozzle cavity, third one is pharynx, next one is larynx and trachea and bronchioles, alveolis and blood. These are the 9 steps we discuss in the pathway of air. The first one is nozzle nostrils. Nostril is one of the two canals of the nose. So through the nostrils we take the air usually enters the body through the nostrils. So the second one is nozzle cavity. What is the function of the nozzle cavity? The nozzle cavity filters the air. When we observe the nozzle cavity, inside the nozzle cavity a moist layer lined in the nozzle cavity and some hair grows inside the nozzle cavity. The hair is the remove the tiny particles of the dirt in the air, dust in the air. In addition that, as the inhaled air passes through the nozzle cavity, it is the temperature is brought close to the body of the body, and it keeps up water vapors so that it becomes more moist than before. So the nozzle cavity to equal the air to our body, air temperature to our body. That is the function of the nozzle cavity. The third one is pharynx. The pharynx is a part of the throat behind the mouth and the nozzle cavity. What is the function of the pharynx? Pharynx. It's a warming and moistening goes on in this common process of digestive and respiratory system. And in pharynx we observe the epiglottis. It is a flap-like muscle. It controls the movement of food and air toward the respective passes. That is the pharynx. The next one is larynx. So it's also called voice box or stiffy box. The voice box contains a vocal cords. So in 9th class we talk about we learn Adam's apple. In that topic we discuss the throat is made up of 9 cartilages. 9 vocal cords. So when air passes out of the lungs and over the vocal cords, it causes them to vibrate. The air vibrates the vocal cords. In that time our voices come out from our body, and this process of sound on the base of our speech or song. The next one is trachea. The trachea is also called windpipe. It is a cartilaginous tube that connects the larynx to the bronchioles of the lungs, and it is lower and touch your neck to feel the tube-like structure. That is trachea. Next one is bronchioles. Bronchioles, it is a passage or airway in the respiratory systems that conduct air into the lungs. At its lower end of the trachea or the windpipe divides into two bronchioles, one leads to each lung. So here we observe two ways of bronchioles in our lungs. The next one is bronchioles. Each bronchiole is further divided into smaller and smaller branches called bronchioles. Bronchioles, thin tube in the air and conduct system within the lungs that is continuous of the bronchioles and connect to the alveolus. So next one we talk about alveolus. Alveolus is a word used in anatomy for hollow cavities, which are empty areas within the body. The word alveolus is usually used to talk about small air sac in the lungs of mammals. So this finally terminated the clusters of air sac called alveoli in the lungs. These alveoli are very small and numerous. So what is the function of these alveoli? Gas exchange takes place here as blood capillaries take up oxygen and expel carbon dioxide. The last one we talk about in pathway of air is blood. In ninth class, the story of blood we already learned. So in our body, 5 to 6 liters of blood, and blood cells are three types: RBC, WBC, and blood platelets. One of the main function of the blood is carry the oxygen to our body and collect carbon dioxide from the cells of our body. When we observe the lungs, the interior of lungs is divided into millions of small chambers, thus tremendously increasing the moist surface available for transfer of gases between air and blood. So look at the screen. So the small ball-like structures is called alveolus. Okay, so and in lungs, the lining of lungs are much folded, and so their totally surface is enormous. It's having a lot of, in lungs we see a lot of or millions of alveolus structures. All these structures hold the oxygen, hold the air. Here we discuss some questions. What will happen if the respiratory tract is not moist? So if the respiratory tract is not moist, the dirt particles in the inhaled air will not be removed from air in the nostril cavities and reaches lungs and create the problems to the lungs. So the respiratory tract must be moist in our body. Next question is, are both lungs are similar in size? No. Why? Because our lungs are not similar in size. Our left lung is smaller than the right lung due to or because of heart. Dear students, tomorrow we talk about epiglottis and passes of air and mechanism of respiratory system in human beings. Okay, so if you like the lesson, share and subscribe Kiran Classroom YouTube channel. Thank you.